Reverend Amos Yohanna, born on June 4, 1961 in Mubi, North Local Government Area of Adamawa State, is a theologian, administrator, and politician. He currently represents Adamawa North Senatorial District in the Senate, following his swearing-in on October 25, 2023, after a Court of Appeal ruling that declared him the duly elected senator. Reverend Yohanna's theological education began at the Lutheran Church of Christ in Nigeria Bible College, Ganye, where he earned the General Certificate of Education in 1985. He obtained the Diploma in Theology in 1988 from the Theological College of Northern Nigeria, affiliated with the University of Jos. He later earned a Bachelor of Divinity with honors from Makumira University College, Tanzania in 1997, and a Master's in Pastoral Theology from the Theological College of Northern Nigeria in 2002. Reverend Yohanna has held key positions throughout his career, including Executive Secretary, Christian Pilgrims Welfare Board, Adamawa State, 2002 to 2007. Chaplain, Adamawa State Government House, 2007 to 2010. Zonal Coordinator, Northeast Nigeria Christian Pilgrims Commission, NCPC, 2010 to 2013. Head of Administration, NCPC Headquarters, Abuja, 2013 to 2016. Director of Operations, NCPC, 2016 to 2021. After retiring from public service in 2021, Reverend Yohanna joined the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and contested for the Adamawa North Senatorial seat in February 2023. Although initially declared unsuccessful by the Independent National Electoral Commission, the Court of Appeal overturned the result in his favor on October 16, 2023. As a first-term senator, Reverend Yohanna is focused on community development and youth empowerment, aiming to address the challenges faced by his constituents.
Aware that the flooding situation has overwhelmed local capacities and left thousands of people in dire need of urgent humanitarian assistance in Krichinga, Shua, Gulag, Zuragu, and other areas of Michika local government, Mayobani Mubi North local government, Concord in Maiha local government, including shelter, food, medical care, and clean water.
Reverend Yohanna's extensive experience in theology, administration, and public service underscores his commitment to the people of Adamawa North Senatorial District.
Welcome back. Joining me on the program to do justice on today's topic is no other person but Senator Amos Yohanna. Well, Senator Amos Yohanna is a Nigerian politician representing Adamawa North Senatorial District on the People's Democratic Party, PDP, before entering politics. And Senator Yohanna served as the Director of Operations for the Nigerian Christian Pilgrim Commission until June 2021. Thank you very much for joining us on the program.
Thank you so much. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So let's begin with this question. How did you transit from the Nigerian Christian Pilgrim Commission to the Senate?
Seamlessly, on retirement. The call came from my people that I should come and contest and represent them in the Senate. And this is due to the fact that we've been together, they've seen what I've been doing for them, what we did together, and even as a public servant, as a civil servant, I always kept touch with them and rose to every occasion that came up in the senatorial district. So before I retired, actually, the call came that I should come and contest, that they had this big confidence in me, that I should represent them in the Senate.
Interesting. So what's the difference? Out there, now in the Senate as a senator, what's the difference?
Not much difference. It's all about service. There's no big difference. You are in the civil service, you serve the people. In the Senate, it's about service. At different levels, sometimes with different dynamics, but service is service. see to the need of the people. You now work towards meeting those needs. And in the Senate is that you also try to bring their issues to the national level so that you can call on support from all parts of the country to come and help the people. So that's, if there is any difference, that just the scope. Otherwise, service is service.
So as a first timer, you're not finding it difficult, not different at all?
Not difficult, in the sense that I relate with my colleagues. I relate very well, thankfully. I have no problems relating with all my colleagues, including the ranking senators and the principal officers and the presiding officers. I have no problem relating with anyone. And that has made my coming, even as a greenhorn senator, to be able to go through the turbulent waters with less stress.
Okay, so since now you're in the Senate, what are your key legislative achievements so far?
Well, as a first-timer, definitely you are at a lot of limitations. But as I said, due to my good rapport and good relationship with my colleagues, both the ranking and those who are not really ranked as yet, is to find something for the constituency, to work towards the constituency. And so for the past 1 year and some months, being able to, in terms of infrastructure, is to light up most of the villages with alternative energy, to light the place up. Also, I focus on the empowerment of youth, especially in the areas of ICT skills and tools, which we are able to carry out, and we are still working on it. Train them on ICT life, what they need to do, different applications and different skills in ICT, and then give them the tools with which to work. And with the women, we are into teaching them how to farm poultry, keep poultry. And we'll be able to train them and also provide the poultry and the feeds which they grow, they sell, and they continue to revolve. Become like a revolving fund for them. And the reports we are receiving from the field is very, very encouraging. So, and farmers, I come from a very agrarian place. We are 99.9% farmers. Even if you are in the Senate, you are still a farmer. Even if you are in the army, you are still a farmer. As long as you are from Adamawa North, you are a farmer. And so we focus on giving them agricultural inputs, such as fertilizer, herbicides, and insecticides, so that they will be able to have better yield from their farms. That we were also able to achieve. We supplied close to 10 trailers of fertilizer to the people, and many, many, many cartons of herbicides and insecticides, so that they improve on their agricultural outputs. So those are areas that we have been able to focus and even achieve largely in the last few months.
Are there areas you're facing challenges so far?
Yeah, well, the needs are vast. For example, we have serious issues with roads. Okay. Our roads are terribly bad. The bridges, many of them were washed away because of the many floods we experienced. And also let us not forget that that's a part of the country that suffered a lot from the insurgency, the Boko Haram issue. They blew up almost all the bridges. They blew them up. The roads are destroyed. So many road infrastructure and the rest of it were destroyed. So that's a big challenge. And that's what we want to focus on addressing. And we raised some motions. I raised a motion in the Senate sometime last year. And thankfully, because of the support of the Senate President, Farmer, currently as we speak, Farmer is fixing one of the most important bridges that links about 3 local governments.
Interesting.
They are currently working on it because of that motion that I raised on the floor of the Senate last year. I think it was around September, something like that. So those are areas that we need to really improve on, because it's a major challenge for the people in that area.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're talking about bad roads. How do we intend to fix these with the budget we have now that will be laid before both chambers of the National Assembly?
We're trying to capture some of them, and I'm also lobbying so that the Farmer and the Ministry of Works should be able to also award some of the contracts to reconstruct those roads. And actually, they are one of the longest road that is badly damaged is the Mubi Maiha Belel Jabilamba Road, which is more than 200 kilometers. The contract has been awarded, thankfully. So I just hope that the contract can be adequately funded so that that can take care of it. The one for Mubi, Michika, Madagali, a major bridge there, the state governor has already even awarded that contract. He is building it. He will not wait for federal government to intervene. The state government has taken that up. And as we speak, the construction company is working very hard on that. So we are coming up. Our work as legislators is to speak for the people. And we don't execute, but we lobby, we speak out, we call on the executive arm of government to come to the aid of the people. It's their people as well, they are for the people. So it's a very people-friendly government. And they are also focused on infrastructure. And that makes it easier. So you don't need to shout too much, because that's what they are focused on.
You've talked about farming, you've talked about infrastructural development. I know you have so much passion when it comes to education. Are you doing anything with regards to education in your community or district? Yeah,
like this year, we have been able to put in something about education, especially computer-based test centers. Okay. We also are sponsoring people to helping the indigent people to write JAM. Okay. Last year we paid for quite a number of students to write for JAM so that they can get admissions into universities. And this year we are going to do the same. Even more, we are going to add the numbers this year so that they can have access to tertiary education. And then any infrastructure in the secondary schools, we put in exam halls. We want to put in computer ICT centers in the schools so that they can grow up with the ICT, and any computer-based test can be accessed easily by the students in the rural areas.
Okay, so let's get back to the Senate. What are the main policies you supported on the floor of the Senate? What policies, major policies, you feel you're happy and that you actually supported on the floor of the Senate?
Well, it's a very good question. Almost all the policies that I believe is good for the people, I have supported it. The major one that, of course, that since I came is the issue of the appropriation. During the debate on the principles on the 2025 appropriation bill, I spoke strongly about it for one reason, just one area. Others spoke on different areas. I spoke on area of my interest, which is human capital development.
Okay.
And anything human capital development, I go for it totally, because everything that you see in this world is built by human beings. America, the way it is, was built by human beings and still being built by human beings. Anywhere you go, everywhere. Machines don't build skyscrapers. Yeah. They don't build industries. Machines didn't take any, everything is human beings. So anything that has to do with human beings, I take it as a priority, human capital development. And so the human capital development aspect of the 2025 appropriation bill is something I spoke passionately about and for.
But with the invention of AI, don't you think it's going to affect a whole lot, talking human?
Well, sometimes we run faster than our shadows in Nigeria. Let's tell ourselves the truth. AI is still far away from us. We still, whatever it is still human beings. Even in America, AI is not going to be consulting as medical doctors. They will still need human doctors to consult. They will use all kinds of things to do it, but not a machine. That is what I believe with my limited knowledge about ICT. But human beings will always be relevant, will always be very, very important. And talk about us in Nigeria. Even the rudiments of ICT and other things that is happening in ICT today, where are we in it? I think we are too fast to ascribe to AI. We are basically a human-based society. And we will remain so for many years to come.
Yeah, but we will not also run away from the reality.
We will be imbibing them and taking them instrumentally as they come. But they are not coming in as a flood to wipe us away.
Not at all.
We are going to be here for many, many years to come. Human beings are going to control this economy. Human beings are going to control everything about our human life in Nigeria. And so the best for us is to develop human. Even the AI is developed by human beings. It's not an evolution science. It is basically a development that is coming from human thinking. So if a human being is creating something that is going to push him out of job, good for him. But the issue is human beings are around. We are here. So I'm not afraid at all about AI.
Okay, so you talked about the issue of the economy. How much will you emphasize the need for economic diversification, looking at agriculture as the mainstay of the nation's economy? And you talked so much about farming and agriculture. How much do you think we should work to see that agriculture comes back as it used to be, rather than oil, where everybody is just running towards? Talking economic diversification.
Let me tell you, even the agri we are talking about, we as Nigerians, we have not really made any progress in terms of agriculture. Go to all these developed worlds and see what agriculture means. What are we doing in this country? People, we are simply subsistent farmers, by and large. People are still going to the farm with their bare hands. I just came back from Israel. Israel is an arid area, 95% desert. But they feed their country and they export fruits and vegetables from a desert. They hardly get rainfall up to 10 times in a year. And even when the rain falls, it's just what we call drizzling here or showers. Nothing more than that. So we really need to invest in agriculture. We need to mechanize our agriculture. We need to make sure that in a small portion of land, we can produce much more. We need to go into genetic engineering, so that we can modify the genes of our crops so that they can produce maximally. So that's why I'm saying we have not done much, and if anything at all, about our agriculture. Today we are simply looking for vast lands and getting very little produce, while we can improve on our seeds and seedlings so that they can give us maximum production. But we are not there yet. Mechanization. What will you do with your bare hands to be able to feed even your family? Don't talk of feeding the nation. We have vast lands. God has given us great climate, vast land across this country. If we can only apply mechanization, and we can also modify our seeds genetically to give us maximum yields, I can tell you that agriculture can keep this country completely self-sufficient, not only in food security, but also in foreign exchange.
Interesting.
So we need to do more, definitely.
And we have to be intentional about it.
Definitely, we have to be very intentional that this is what we must develop. And you can never have a developed country if your agriculture is not developed. Because food is not supposed to be something people worry about.
Now let's talk about community engagement. How will you ensure that the voices of your constituents are heard and represented effectively in the Senate? I mean, amplifying the voices of those you're here to represent. In what area do you think you can actually do that to execute them positively?
Well, we have, as a parliamentarian, we have all the leverages. You can raise motions on the floor of the Senate. Once you raise a motion, the whole country knows about it, because you people in the media are doing a great job by sensitizing and also informing the Nigerian populace. So once the voices of the people is raised through motions on the floor of the Senate, it's all over the place. And of course, your medium, the privilege you have given me now is one way of it.
Yeah.
And so you see people will hear about it. People will now know
not
there
just
is
in Adamawa,
across the country, even internationally.
Yeah.
Since they can watch you live streaming and the rest of it, they watch you. And so it's basically to speak. And once you speak, it will be heard.
Yeah. Okay, so what are your long-term goals for Adamawa State, and how do you envision achieving them through legislative action?
Well, it's to continue to work with the National Assembly, with my colleagues, and to continue to bring the needs of the people to the table, and to also continue to do research and consult with the people. Because what I do is not just to sit here and say this is what the people want. I consult. I go home regularly and I speak with the people, and they tell me their concerns. And I have structures put in place. They call, they speak, this is what is going on and the rest of it. And the ones we can address them immediately, we do. The ones that we have to raise it to another level, we do. So we continue to articulate those issues along with the people. That is the trend of development these days. You know, it used to be something from top to bottom. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's not a strategy that works. What works is bottom up. Carry the people along. They will tell you what their needs are. And then, of course, as a leader, you also sit and look at what will be good for the people. But when you find out what is good, you consult them and share the idea with them. So that one, they understand it, then you get a buy-in. Then you articulate and you bring it to the national level, which I have the privilege of having the Senate floor. I can always have a say as a member of the Senate. So those are the areas, and we have a lot of developmental challenges.
Okay.
So we don't need to go to the space and talk about rocket science. Yeah. Our needs are very, very primary, and I just mentioned them. Let's have food security for our people. Let's have schools for our people. Let's have good roads for the people. Let's have water and sanitation for the people. Once those things are provided, they are enough to raise the economic level of the people to quite a higher standard.
Interesting. So before we round off, on a lighter note, a lot of people have this perception, you do not go into politics as, with your background, theological background, there's no need going into politics, it's dirty and what have you. So what message do you really have for some persons who are looking up to you, who see you as a leader and want to follow your footsteps? They feel as a Christian, someone who goes to church, there's no need to going into politics. Tell me, let's just talk a little about this on a lighter note.
Well, theology is the mother of all sciences. Having said that, we have to be careful not to allow politics look like something that is ungodly. Because God is the founder of government.
Interesting.
He is the one who gave us political science. And that's why I started by saying theology is the mother of all sciences. Life must be lived to the fullest. And God wants people to live their lives to the fullest. He gave us potentials. And God does not want us to go back to our grave with those potentials undeveloped and unexploited.
Interesting.
So we have to come out and permeate the society with goodness and righteousness. And that's why politics is for people with character. People with character, those who can affect the society and impact the society positively. One of the reasons we have remained where we are is corruption. And because people don't have good values. So if you have people like us who go into politics and come in with the mindset that we want to do our politics with good values, we want to go into politics introducing the fear of God and the righteousness of God in the society. And people should have character in whatever they do. Then you can see that nobody is going to take one kobo that does not belong to him or her. If one kobo belongs to drilling a water well for the community,
you do it.
You do it. And so if I do it, you do it, the brother do it, the sister does it.
It'll be a better place.
It will be a better place.
Interesting.
So for me, I always say there is no dichotomy between in my case, between the church and the government. Generally speaking, there is no dichotomy between the religion, that is the fear of God, not the religion people play together to divide people or to steal and to do everything, but righteousness, justice, fairness, kindness. These are values that is expected from every human being. So there is no dichotomy at all. I don't even see myself as a stranger in the political waters, because this is what I am supposed to be doing all my life. That is what I am supposed to be doing. Being kind, being righteous, being just, and carrying very high standard of character. And that's why, look, in the developed world, many of them don't go to church. They don't go to mosque. But if a public officer does anything wrong, they tell him you are wrong. He resigns. Because it's embedded in their culture that to be a public officer, you must have good character. And once that character is questioned, you give way. So that people can go on and respect what you have done. So for me, there is no dichotomy. And I started by telling you my transition is seamless. Yeah. Because that is what it's supposed to be.
Senator Amos Yohanna, thank you for giving us audience.
Thank you. You're welcome.
And that's how much we can take on this interview segment. We've been speaking with Senator Amos Yohanna. He is a Nigerian politician representing Adamawa North Senatorial District under the People's Democratic Party. Before joining politics, he also served as the Director of Operations for the Nigerian Christian Pilgrim Commission until June 2021. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, NASS Unplugged continues. Don't go away. Well, that's how much we can take on today's episode of the program, and we draw the curtain here. See you same time, same station next week, Wednesday. Thank you for watching. I am Grace Ike. Bye.